88.9 FM in Irvine. And standing by to join me is Poppy Harlow. She's Emmy-nominated CNN news anchor. And she's going to talk about her Christmas classic with lots of heart, The Biggest Little Boy, A Christmas Story. I'm so excited to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. What a joy to be with you. I really appreciate you having me this morning.
Well, congratulations. I know this wasn't something you expected to do all along. How did it come about?
No, not at all. It was so much fun, even with a little glitter on top. I said, can we make the star shiny?
I love it.
It was this project, Janine, was such a joy. I got the idea 2 years ago around Christmas and walking through Christmas tree market in Brooklyn, where we live with our son, Luca, who was a baby at the time, our daughter, Sienna, who was a toddler, and carrying Luca like on a baby Bjorner in my arms. And he like reaches over and almost pulls over this enormous Christmas tree, right? Like Christmas tree dominoes, like topples the whole thing over. Yeah. And in that moment, I was like, this would be a great children's book. Because the lesson in it is we don't need all these big things. Right. There is such joy and meaning in the little things right in front of us.
You bet.
So that's the inspiration for the story.
I love it. Now, were you always a writer at heart? Was this something you like to do when you were
journalist? Yes. I mean, I wrote for like the high school newspaper growing up in Minnesota. But I thought I was going to be a lawyer. And that, so my life certainly I didn't plan this trajectory, but I always have written for work, right? I mean, we write print pieces, we write, some of the scripts for TV, we write questions we ask. So there's a lot of writing that goes into my job already. And I've always loved writing, something I learned from my dad.
Were you surprised at the process? Like, had this made you feel?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's been so joy filled because remember I wrote this 2 years ago, and through COVID working on it, was such a negative news cycle in so many ways. So to be able to do a project that is purely joy was great. Right.
Amazing.
And one thing that really surprised me is, it's a lot of work. Like how much work? Like I wrote the first draft or iteration, then worked on it with my great book agent, Tina Dubois, who really helped me craft and hone the message.
Okay.
With our great publisher, Tamar Brazis at Penguin. There was a lot of work just that went into the text. And of course I wrote way too long. So they're like, we need to slim this down.
Yeah.
And then getting to work with this incredible artist. I'll just show you again. And maybe I can show you my favorite page.
Please do. I was going to ask you to share some.
Ramona Kowalitsky is the remarkable artist who I got to work with on this. And I mean, I just was telling her the other week on email, she made the book sing. She made it come to life on the page. And there were almost no changes from me. That's my favorite.
Gorgeous. I mean, just so exquisite. I loved it.
Yeah. She's great.
Isn't it amazing to see your story come to life with someone else's creativity?
Yeah. And the vision that she had for it, I was like, run with it. This is so remarkable and such a good partner. I hope that this is the beginning of a lot of collaborations.
I would say so.
Sure.
I want to share something with you. I don't know if you know this, but my show is called Get the Funk Out.
I know. I love it.
So I wanted to ask you, because it seems that this was a great outlet for you, a surprise for you to delve into. How did this creative outlet help you through challenging times?
Oh, because I could pour just joy and happiness into it, I think. And, covering difficult, tough, sad news, especially through COVID, is so, it weighs on your soul.
Yes.
And, I have nothing to complain about. I wasn't the one suffering, but I still, to have these moments where just everything seems so sad. And to then get to come home to this and work on this project or see a draft of illustrations brought me a lot of joy.
It's amazing. I think there's also something with being a mom. I'm a mom, and this creativity kind of surprises you.
Right. Did you have it?
Yes. It's really, where did that idea come from?
Right.
Yeah.
But our kids bring out, I think, the best in us. And they can bring out the worst in us, and they hold a mirror up to us when we need to change or think about things differently or act differently. My little kids do that for me all the time. They tell me when I'm wrong, and they're right usually. So this has certainly been a surprise that I could even do it. I guess I sometimes think as we have children and get more into our careers, we think like, okay, well, like this is the lane I'm on. Like this
Yes,
is what I'm gonna do, and this is like all I can manage and do.
right.
And I also think being a parent teaches us we have a capacity for a lot more than we thought because it makes us
Definitely.
exceptional time managers.
Sure.
It's like, what little thing can I fit in these 7 minutes I have between
I know.
my kids' ballet and the groceries or whatever? And so, you know, you can, it's the beauty of a laptop or a pen and paper. You can just grab it and write and put the idea down. And I'm a big list maker and note taker. And so I would
Mhm.
just like put ideas down as they came to me.
That's a great idea for people watching this because sometimes you want to make time, but just having that little notepad in your pocket to just jot ideas down, you never know where that's going to go.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
Don't throw it away.
No.
Don't throw it away. I loved you. I mean, I know you write, and I was reading about, I was really touched by especially what you wrote about your dad.
Thank you.
New York Times, I know you lost him a few years ago, and I lost
Yeah.
my dad when I was young too. And
I'm sorry. Wow.
you know, we had great dads. I mean,
Mhm.
yours just sounded like he was out of this world, and mine was just incredible, and so much joy, and so much of that, and so much teaching and learning how to be a parent, and fully embracing life came from him, and I can tell from your dad too.
Definitely. You know, I was going to ask you about your dad. Were there certain words that you're still hearing to this day, like that advice he gave you?
Oh yeah, so much. I mean, my dad always called me Pop.
Really? Why?
I like Poppy, you know, Pop.
Oh,
Pip,
okay.
Pip, Pip
Good.
and Pop is what he would call me. And you know, he is one of the reasons I decided to go back to school. So I'm going to law school right now while
I
I'm
love
at
that.
CNN. And that is for a 1-year program, a master's, not a full JD. Don't get me too
Okay.
excited. But he was a lawyer, and he taught me how to love the law as a little kid. Like I would sit at the kitchen table with him, and he'd like tell me about the lawsuits he was doing. He was an intellectual properties lawyer. So he would like
Okay.
really take apart like a camera lens and be like, this is where they like stole the information, and this is why I'm going to do a deposition. And it was just so
Interesting.
cool to me. And he taught me to love the law. And so a lot of me going back to school is, you know, following in his footsteps and being additive, hopefully, to my career
Yeah.
and my knowledge. And but he taught me so much. And it feels like, even though it's been he died when I was 15, it's been like almost 25 years. He feels like here with me, you know, and I look,
Great.
Luca has his
Yeah.
eyes. I look and see Luca
Oh,
and him.
yeah. Is that how you were named Poppy from your dad?
No, it's a funny story. No.
Okay.
My mom, they agreed on Catherine, which is still my legal name.
Okay.
But when I was born, I suppose the story they told me goes that, well, right when I was born, and I was like a big baby, over 10.5 pounds, like full head of hair.
That's rather large.
Toddler. And then my mom apparently said, what a poppet. We're going to call her Poppy. And my dad was like, what is that? And no, we're not.
Okay.
They wrote Catherine, what they'd agreed on the birth certificate. But then no one called me Catherine. My mom called me Poppy. My dad called me Pip or Pop, and it just stuck.
That is cute.
That's the story.
That is adorable. Wow. What else would you like people to know about the book without giving too much away?
I would like them to know that there's a little Minnesota love in this book. You'll notice the Twins hat at the end, the Minnesota Twins hat on the Christmas tree. That I hope that there's a serious message in this book for us as families. Maybe we don't have to drive ourselves crazy this holiday season buying a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
People, a few meaningful things go a long way.
Yeah.
And we just started with our kids this year, trying to teach them about donating and giving to others who don't have a lot.
Great.
You know, on Thanksgiving when I was working, my husband took them to donate some food with our church. And
Good.
this week we bought gifts for a 13-year-old boy who had registered for some through our kids' schools, and trying to teach them, because they need to understand, like, I don't just like get all this like big shiny stuff. Like, I don't need this big tree. I don't need this big gift. Like, if I get a little bit, that's amazing. And there are people who need more than me.
Yes.
You know, and so
true.
that's the message, one of the messages I really hope to send in this book.
That's good. You know, I know we have to wrap up soon, but I have to tell you, I started donating donuts and bagels to people experiencing homelessness. Oh. And it happened in September. It was like an accidental thing. Someone said, could you take these donuts because we messed up your order? I said, no. He said, can you please take the donuts and donate to people who are homeless? Absolutely. So, you know,
Oh.
it really lifts me up. It lifts other students up. It lifts everybody up when you do something thoughtful for others. It's so important.
Best thing, I mean, one of the most important lessons we can teach our kids, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this world of you know, in this country where, you know, there's such inequality, you know, how can we give to others?
Sure. You know, and be grateful for what you have, but think about what others don't have and how you can be of service and be compassionate, right?
That's exactly right.
Where can people find out more about you in the book?
Oh, I would love it if you would share this book with your loved ones this season. So I've posted a lot about it on my social media at Poppy Harlow CNN on Instagram and Twitter, also on the Penguin Random House website, and your independent bookstore. Please go support your independent bookstores. Hopefully they have it. A lot of them do. If they don't, they can order it, or on Amazon you can get it as well. And hopefully it's the first of many more to come.
I was going to ask that. That was my next question.
Yes, I have a book coming with my colleague, a surprise, so I won't tell you more yet.
Okay.
And Sienna's book, hopefully coming soon, working on that now. So it's I think I've tapped into something that makes me really happy.
I think it's wonderful. I mean, and your colleagues at CNN must have been so surprised, or maybe they weren't.
I don't know if they were surprised, but so supportive of this and sharing it with their kids and their grandchildren and their loved ones. So it's been a fun project to do.
I love it. Any advice for people that are feeling a little down this holiday season?
Oh, yeah, of course. We all go through it. And I'm so glad to see a real focus on mental health, much more in the media than it used to be.
Definitely.
And especially like celebrities talking about it and athletes and focusing on it and making it okay to talk about our feelings, you know, is really important. And to realize that you're not alone. Oh, and by the way, like that all people, like the life of mine you see on Instagram is just part of my life. Like, and sometimes I post the messy, difficult stuff too, but like, I do think that social media has given a warped perception of people's lives, that they're perfect or even close to it.
Right.
And they're so messy and people have different difficulties, but this is, you know, a time to really, you know, pick up the phone too. We text too much. We don't talk enough. And reach out to people who are lonely. Reach out to that aunt who is alone. Reach out to that
neighbor
husband who you haven't talked to. Reach out to that neighbor. Reach out to that friend you haven't talked to in 5 years.
Definitely. Well, I have loved chatting with you. Congratulations. I look forward to what's next for you.
Thank you. And to you, I'm a big fan and I really appreciate your work. And I'm so grateful that you had me on. So thank you
so much.